Hello everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Mario So, and today we're talking about the iPhone 13 Pro again, but this time we'll be focusing on its crazy stabilization. Let me start with this video clip, and you let me know if you think it was shot with a gimbal or not. If you watched my previous video, you probably already know the answer, but let's take a look at this clip right now. So welcome back to another video. My name is Mario So, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing for future similar content. If you're already subscribed, thank you again so much for being back here again. So the clip that you watched right at the beginning of this video was actually shot completely handheld on the iPhone 13 Pro. It was shot on the native camera app on the iPhone, and there was no post-stabilization applied to it whatsoever. So the stabilization on this new iPhone 13 Pro is actually really good. This clip was about 25 seconds long, and if I hadn't told you, you would have thought this was shot with a gimbal. A lot of smartphones, the iPhone included, in previous generations have had really good stabilization already on their smartphones. I shot with the iPhone 11 and 12, and they both have really good stabilization. But the iPhone 13, in my opinion, just takes it to the next level. They just keep improving on every new iteration of the iPhone, and stabilization on this one is really good. In the past, I was able to get pretty stable footage, but not for such a long clip. I could get maybe 5 or 10 seconds if I was just smoothly gliding or moving my body with the phone. And even if I did the ninja walk, I still introduced a little bit of shake and a little bit of bounce in that footage. And unless you're Brandon Lee, the human gimbal, you probably would have needed a gimbal to get a longer stable shot. For this footage right here on the iPhone 13 Pro, I did have to do the ninja walk, so I had to bend my knees and try to focus on my walk and make it as smoothly as possible. I also tried just walking normally on the iPhone 13 Pro to see what I would get. And this is what I got, which is a lot more shaky, but it's still pretty stable considering that I was not thinking about getting smooth footage at all. I also shot this exact same sequence handheld with the Sony a7S III with a G Master lens. The Sony a7S III is a professional mirrorless camera that has IBIS, which is in-body image stabilization, which is actually pretty good as well. So this was all completely handheld, but as you can tell, it's not as smooth or as steady as the iPhone's footage. Now let's take a look again at this clip on the Sony a7S III with warp stabilization applied in Premiere Pro. So it actually looks very good, and it gets very close to the footage shot on the iPhone 13 Pro. But the fact that you don't have to do anything at all to the iPhone's footage in post is very impressive. Problem with trying to stabilize longer clips as well is that sometimes you get that weird warp stabilizer distortion effect, which is not desirable. So being able to get stable footage straight out of your camera is usually your best bet. Let me show you now a second example where I have this iPhone 13 Pro and the Sony a7S III as well, and you can see the difference on how stable and just how steady that footage is on the iPhone 13 Pro. So I think this just opens up the way for the general public to be able to get smooth footage, provided you learn how to do the ninja walk. without a gimbal. And I think this is huge if you want to get a quick clip here and there and you don't have your gimbal with you, but you do have your phone with you. You can get very smooth, stable footage if you're able to walk smoothly. As long as you learn even just the basic version of that ninja walk. And I do not have a course for that, but let me know in the comments below if I should create a course on how to do the ninja walk for handheld steady footage. You will still need to get a gimbal though if you need to get more complex shots, if you wanted to get low shots or super high shots. Having that extra reach with that gimbal when you're trying to get a high shot is very beneficial. So you definitely would still need a gimbal for a lot of these more complex shots, but for everyday stabilized footage, I think the iPhone 13 stabilization is actually really good. A lot of smartphones, action cameras, have really improved stabilization in the last few years, and it's just getting better and better. So I wonder if one day if gimbals would be obsolete. Let me know what you think. So that's it for today's video. Just a quick one just to talk about the stabilization on the iPhone 13 Pro. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you haven't, and if you haven't seen my other video comparing the iPhone 13 Pro's footage versus a more professional camera, the Sony a7S III, it's right here, so you can go check it out or in the description below. So that's it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.